We'll do it live. We'll do it live. All right, we're live. So wait for everybody to join. The post-game show is publishing right now. So at some point during this live stream, I'm going to have to upload it. So I will be doing that once it's ready. So tough night for the Yankees, tough series for the Yankees. Jordan Montgomery, I thought, was pretty good tonight. He was moving the ball in and out. He had a good changeup. I thought Gio Urshela made a really great play at third base on the line drive. Clint Frazier made a really nice play in right field, running down a ball earlier in the game. So just a really nice performance from a couple of guys on the team, but unfortunately the lineup was dead once again. And so I see we have 10 people on right now. I am publishing a post game with highlights and reaction and all that. But while it's publishing, I figured I would get on here and chat for a bit. Stanton looks terrible. Judge looks terrible. I think those guys are just trying not to get hurt. Chapman looked amazing this time. He's been up and down. So you look like Turtle from Entourage. Well, that's probably because I always wear the Yankee hat. I wish I had Turtle's money. And he also got to date Ronda Rousey, which, I mean, my wife is pretty hot, but, Ronda Rousey seems like a fun time. But Joseph Menegas, WTF. Yeah, this was a rough series for the Yankees. Aaron Judge 0 for 2 tonight. Stanton had a rough night. Stanton seems to be chasing balls out of the strike zone. We've got a lot of guys, kind of chasing balls out of the strike zone. It looks like, they're trying to make things happen offensively instead of just taking the same approach that they've taken, at times this year, which is get a good pitch to hit, put a good swing on it. This offense, for being so loaded, has been so up and down. You really don't expect to score just one run in that game, though. Granted, Hyunjin Ryu is a really good pitcher for the Blue Jays. He did a really nice job. I was on board with the Yankees picking him up this winter. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm glad they got Garrett Cole, but I didn't think they were going to get Garrett Cole. So Hyunjin Ryu was the guy that I was looking forward to. Gary, Giancarlo, and Glaber better come through in the postseason. We'll see. Right now, there's no reason to believe that they won't. Gary is hitting the ball a little bit harder, but he's had a bad year. Giancarlo and Aaron Judge, I feel like, are going to come around. They're just trying to get at bats. Keep in mind, they didn't have real rehab games. They had to go down to that alternate site and hit off of their own teammates, and it's just not the same thing. And so these guys are trying to get back into midseason form, and they're doing it under pressure. They got 3 more games left. That's probably 10 to 12 at-bats. I know Judge is going to play all 3 games this weekend. He had 2 at-bats tonight. I'd imagine that Giancarlo is going to play at least 2 out of the 3. So those guys might get it going. I mean, it generally takes 30 at-bats, 40 at-bats, something like that, to get into a groove. And so far, since coming back, they've both had about maybe 15, 20 at-bats. So they should be getting into a groove right as the playoffs start. So we'll see. Fingers crossed. Bats fell silent again. Yes. Gary Scary hitting 143. He's actually improved by about 20 points. That's the scary part in that. All right, Sam, go ahead and make your bold prediction. You like to make those predictions. Go ahead. Let's see what you got to say. Come on, don't make us wait. Got dead air here, buddy. All right, the video's at about 30% published, so hopefully I'll have that up before too long. Air Temple talks. Thanks for shout-outs, Udoman. Clark Schmidt will get a start this weekend. That's not a bold prediction. You're trying to pull one over on us. That's actually in my post-game show. They've already announced it. Clark Schmidt is going to start on Sunday against the Marlins, and I'm going to do a live stream while he's pitching. I'm going to try and get the game going right here so that you guys can watch. And I'll just basically talk the entire time he's on the mound, and we'll just kind of go over what he's doing. Look, I know a lot of people like Clark Schmidt. I like Clark Schmidt's stuff, but in the brief appearances he's shown me since he's gotten called up, his mechanics are out of whack. I'm telling you. Do not look for a good start from Clark Schmidt on Sunday. It's tough to watch when they're not hitting well with runners in scoring position. I mean, that's bad baseball when a home run hitting team isn't hitting home runs. I can't get behind this all or nothing approach. I know that the analytics say if you put guys on base consistently and you aim for a home run every time you swing, that eventually you're going to run into one. That's the thought. And, if you have enough home run hitters and enough guys to get on base, theoretically, you should do it about 2 times a game. But like anything else, there's law of averages. So you'll have some games, some innings where you hit 5, and then you'll have other long stretches when you don't hit any. And it all really depends on, how you're hitting in the moment, who's hot, who's cold, whatnot. I promised somebody that I would talk about Ford and Andujar, and I forgot to mention it in my post-game show, which is now published. So I'm going to go ahead and upload that while I talk about this. So the deal with Ford and Andujar. So Ford did not have the kind of season that the Yankees were predicting this year. And Andujar obviously got off to a really slow start. He had that surgery. Nobody's really sure what he's going to do. So I think both of those guys next year in spring training are going to be battling for a position. It's good to have Ford on the roster. There's no reason to get rid of him. He doesn't make anything. But he's a guy that you can shuffle back and forth. Luke Voit has been tremendous this year, but, he's playing through a foot injury this year. He had the hernia thing last year. Guys get hurt. So it's good to have Ford there. I believe in a regular season, Ford will hit. Spring looking really svelte, looking really good, having really good at-bats. And then Corona Ball hits. And then after Corona Ball, it looked like he'd put on 15 pounds. He'd been sitting around like me eating Cheetos, and it just didn't work out for him. And Andujar, I just got the sense that his bat speed was not the same. His hard hit percentage, and sorry, this is taking a long time to upload this. His hard hit percentage was, I think, down this year. His exit velocity was down. He just wasn't the same guy. He didn't have the same power. I think he just hit 1 home run. So I'm skeptical on Andujar. He started to hit better near the end. I know a lot of you guys like Andujar. I'm going to go ahead and set this up. Visibility, public. So sometimes when I publish these, I just hit publish, and so the SD, the standard definition version, will jump out in the beginning, and then you have to wait a while for the HD. So anyway, who do we start in Game 3 of the series? Deivi Garcia or J Happ? I'm probably saying it depends on who pitches better between Friday and Saturday. J Happ will be probably on schedule because he's going to pitch Friday night. He's been good. He deserves it. He's a veteran. He's not going to be shaken up. He's a guy who relies on location and changing speeds. He's been pitching very well. And it really depends also on who we're playing. We don't know who we're playing yet. Could be the Twins, could be the White Sox, could be a number of teams. So it's really going to depend on who we're playing. I think it's going to be J Happ. I don't think the Yankees need a miracle. I think they just need to, hit a groove. If the Yankees get into a groove at the right time, there's nobody that's going to beat them. J Happ was bad to begin this season. He was bad. He was terrible, but he got better as the year went along. I got to give him credit. This video, is uploading. It's 46% uploaded. Looks like 3 minutes, and then it's going to be live, and then it's got to process, so a few minutes. I will take your questions, comments, jokes, whatever you got, because I got to stay up another 15 minutes or so to get this thing published. I thought that Clint Frazier made a really nice catch in right field tonight. I want to say it was the first inning or second inning. Somebody just ripped one to right field, and he made a really nice over-the-shoulder play. Clark Schmidt is starting on Sunday, Sam. I think it's at 1 o'clock. I will be doing a live stream. I mentioned that. I hope YouTube doesn't ban me, but I'm going to try and get the computer set up right here with the game on the screen at kind of an angle so that it doesn't trigger all of the, so that they don't take me down, basically. Sometimes live streams can get shut down for that. I don't want to get a strike on my account. Appreciate it, Ari Temple. My editing is it's my favorite part of what I do. I've been in marketing for 15 years. I make videos for a living, and my main hobby is baseball. My main passion is baseball and movies. I have another podcast if you guys are interested. It's called The Ski Lodge. It's on YouTube. Right now, it's only got 565 subscribers. So if you go and subscribe there, I've got movie reviews. I'm going to start doing interviews. I'm interviewing a guy on October 6th named Donald Hoffman. I talked about him in one of my rant videos where I was talking about peace and love. He's a scientist who's breaking down Einstein. He's going to be on my show October 6th. I'm interviewing him. I'm interviewing my buddy Rob Thompson. He's kind of a well-respected gamer in the gamer community, the fighting game community. And I'm interviewing him this weekend. I'm also doing an interview for this channel with Patrick Hennessy of Unhinged New York. He's got a really good channel. He's got a really underrated channel. He's got, they're young guys. So I don't think that they've got a ton of baseball playing experience, but you can tell that they really love the Yankees. They're passionate about the Yankees. Everybody on that channel speaks really well. And look, I'm not above promoting other channels because the better the whole community does, a rising tide lifts all boats. I want Yankees Avenue to go crazy. He's got like 29,000. I want all these guys, Los Baseball. I want him to do good. I want everybody to do really, really well because, the more that these videos get watched, the more my videos will get suggested. And it builds just basically this giant network of people where we're all watching each other's videos and we're all making money off of it. So that is the point. I want everybody to do well. So anyway, can he break down the Yankees offense? I'm not sure who you're talking about. The Yankees offense already seems pretty broken down, if you ask me. Yeah, they've been pretty terrible this week. The Death Star lineup hasn't really done much. So my post-game show is at 95%. It's going to go live in just a few minutes. What position did you play for baseball? I played outfield and pitcher. Played a little bit in college as a pitcher. I'm playing semi-pro baseball in a men's, it's just a men's league, but it's Wood Battis Pro rules. It's good players. We play against, there's guys who throw 90 plus. I played against, what's his name? There was Chris Elliott, I think his name. He was on the Kansas City Royals a couple of years ago when they won the World Series. I played against him a couple of years ago. So we compete against really, really good competition. I played in the NBC World Series of 2004, I think, in Wichita, Kansas. So I've played a lot of baseball. I love baseball. It's like I've got a something to held for review. I try and make my comments community. I try and I put filters on for like bad words and stuff because I don't want it to be toxic. The internet toxic. The internet can get toxic. How hard did you throw back in the day? We don't like to talk about that. Actually, I got up to about 86 in my heyday, about 2004, 2005. That was when I was throwing my hardest. I threw a splitter, a slider, but I'm not here to talk about me. I'm here to talk about the Yankees. Gary Sanchez has 93 men left on base this season. That is the worst among Yankees players. That is terrible. That is a great stat, Coltrane. What part of NC are you? I am in Wake Forest, NC. From Poughkeepsie, New York, represent. Moved down here in 1997. All right, so my post-game show is going live now. I'm going to go ahead and hit that. So if you feel like checking that out, it's got full highlights from tonight's game. I also posted a video of Jordan Montgomery's 2020 highlights. Not a lot of people have watched yet, but 106. So, yeah, I mean, hey, it is what it is. So anyway, tough night for the Yankees. We got the Marlins this weekend. By the way, how weird is it that Derek Jeter decided to join the Marlins organization? To me, he's almost like dead to me. He went from being one of my favorite players of all time, like the epitome of a Yankee. Same with Don Mattingly. Now Donnie Baseball, it's not his fault because he came to the Yankees as a coach out of retirement. He interviewed for the manager job, and the Yankees chose to go with Joe Girardi instead of Don Mattingly back in 2008. They're right to do that. Don Mattingly goes, to the NL, and now he's a, manager for the Marlins. He's doing a nice job. Derek Jeter, though, he just wanted to be a big shot executive, and rather than, join the Yankees as like an assistant to Brian Cashman. And by the way, Jeter and Cashman don't really like each other. I don't know if you know that. It goes back to their negotiation back in, I want to say 2007, 2008, sometime around then. Might have been later than that. But anyway, Jeter and Cashman don't like each other. And so Jeter didn't want to be a part of the Yankees front office. He wanted to buy into a team and be the guy calling the shots. And so far, that's pretty evident in what he's doing. Smart move, unloading Giancarlo Stanton to the Yankees. Anyway, I really like Mattingly. I think Mattingly would be a great manager, but, Aaron Boone he has his moments up and down. It really depends on what the Yankees, see in him. If it was up to me, I would have hired Don Mattingly because he knows baseball. I mean, he understands the game of baseball. I think David Cohn would be a tremendous pitching coach. And maybe there's a little bit of bias because we hear these guys on TV every night and they're talking baseball and they're part of the They're part of the dynasty, the core team that won. O'Neal wasn't really part of the core four, but they were part of this dynasty that had so much success in New York, and it was all about great chemistry, and they didn't need guys hitting home runs every at bat. They took approaches of moving runners, of playing small ball, of playing tight defense. The Yankees defense the last few nights has been terrible, with the exception of Gio Urshela tonight. And Clint Frazier's played better too, but defense is such an underrated part of the game. It goes back. You got to do more than just score runs, right? You got to prevent runs. Run prevention is humongous. Krantz for manager. It's actually Kratz. But I could see him being a coach. All those old catchers that hang around the game for a long time, they make good managers because they understand they have to be aware of everything on the field, right? If you're the catcher, you're basically the quarterback for that team. You've got the whole field in front of you. You got to know how the pitcher's working pitchers. You've got to recognize when the hitter is making adjustments. You've got to, see your defense. You've got to keep an eye on the runners moving around. You've got to work with all these different, bullpen pitchers. So you've got to know the entire repertoire, of pitches that your entire staff throws. And that's why it's, so common to see catchers become big league managers. I think Joe Girardi is a tremendous manager in Philly. I wish the Yankees had never let Joe Girardi go. In my opinion, and I know he was kind of tough on Gary Sanchez, but Gary Sanchez needs a kick in the ass. I mean, look what he's done. Look what Gary Sanchez has done since Joe Girardi left. He's fallen apart. Some guys just need that kick in the ass. A manager is supposed to be your manager, not your friend. You want a friend? Get a dog. Get a fun bench coach. Your manager, you need to have ultimate authority, ultimate respect. And I like Girardi. The Phils are garbage because they're just there's a lot of reasons the Phils are garbage. They have some bad approaches. They're not as good as you think. Danny Trejo, let's see, kick him in the A's easy. Danny Trejo, that's kind of like the guy from Machete. All right, so my other video's up. I just wanted to hop on here and talk to you guys. I'm going to be doing a podcast on Saturday with Unhinged New York, Patrick Hennessy. I'm going to be doing a podcast on my other channel on Saturday night with Rob Thompson, a buddy of mine. Sunday, I'm going to live stream for Clark Schmidt's first major league start. Of course, I will add highlights and things like that after the game. So thanks. Hey, happy birthday to Ari Temple Talks. Great seeing you guys on here. Appreciate everybody who's a part of this community. It's hard to believe I started this channel. I just hopped on here to talk about Garrett Cole after the Yankees signed him back in December. I named it NYY Recaps because I thought every once in a while I would get on after a game and just chat about something. But, people started to like my videos and stuff like that, and it grew. I had one video get like 60,000, and so I did a Dominguez one that got a bunch. And all of a sudden, we're closing in on 3,000. I want to get to 3,000 by the playoffs. I don't know if it's possible. That's 3 days, and that's like 300. So we're gonna need some major attention here over the next few days if we make that happen. But anyway, let's see. I was looking at the stats for the 99 Yankees in 96, and you probably had 7 players who hit at least 260. Yeah, that was a good team. I mean, they hit for contact. I could tell you everybody from those teams. I'll do that before I go to bed here. All right, so Girardi was a catcher. Posada was a catcher. Jim Leyritz was a catcher. And then first base was, of course, Tino. We had Fielder for a bit in 96. Second base in 96 was Mariano Duncan. Through 99, it ended up being it was Knobloch in 98. I think they moved him to left field in 99. He had some throwing problems. Shortstop, obviously, Jeter. Then we had in 96, it was Charlie Hayes and Wade Boggs at third base. And then eventually it was Scott Brocious. He got traded for Kenny Rogers after the 97 season, and he was just such a great player for the Yankees. Left field was kind of the Yankees' black hole during that era. We had Ricky Leday. We had Shane Spencer. We had Tim Raines. We had Darryl Strawberry. Even used Chuck Knobloch a little bit after his throwing problems. Alfonso Soriano came in later, but it was kind of a revolving door for a while. David Justice, I think, he might have played right field, but he played a little bit of left field too. Center field, obviously Bernie Williams. He's the most underrated member of that Yankees dynasty team. I feel like he's a Hall of Fame caliber player that didn't get enough credit. Also, his music is great. I listen to it on the Alexa all the time. I have to whisper it because she freaking freaks out every time I say it. Right field we had O'Neill in 96 through 2001. So O'Neill was kind of the steadfast guy out there. And O'Neill's one of my favorite players of all time. Yeah, and Didi is super clutch. He's got a great swing. He was built for New York. I miss Didi Gregorius. That's it for me. Thanks to everybody who joined. Hope you enjoyed this stream. I'm going to get some shut-eye. Good night.